jazz fusion, mixed martial arts, Ford Maverick. These may be completely different things, but they have more in common than you probably think. They're all products of mixing different philosophies, taking the best from each one. The first one combines classic jazz with exotic music styles from around the world. The second takes the best from different martial arts, such as karate, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, etc. And Ford? Well, Ford has decided to mix traditional and modern philosophies of the automotive industry. It all happened very fast. A few years ago, the Blue Oval Company announced that they're discontinuing sedans and similar passenger cars in favor of SUVs and electric vehicles. This move seemed radical at the time, but today, it just shows that Ford's management was able to see further than rival companies. Models like Ford Fusion are long gone, while GM and Chrysler are still working on replacement for their slow-selling sedans. Still, discontinuation wasn't enough for a successful transition. Ford needed a car that won't turn conservative buyers to other brands. They needed something that could attract different profiles of drivers, something that would change the way a common car buyer looks at pickup trucks. From today's perspective, it looks like the Blue Oval Company did the right thing. So, let's take a closer look at how the Ford Maverick is changing the pickup market forever. Development. The development of the Ford Maverick was surprisingly quick. It started in 2019 with the idea to offer something different, something that could attract unconventional customers, mostly younger generations. Simply put, you have classic pickup trucks, which are predominantly used by farmers and small business owners. On the other hand, SUVs and crossovers are mostly used by family-oriented drivers. With the discontinuation of coupes and sedans, it seemed like no one cares about the common driver who needs simple but convenient transportation, which wouldn't cost a fortune like today's trucks and SUVs do. The goal was to develop a vehicle that could offer a combination of these two worlds. On one side, there's a pickup truck design and all the benefits that come with this body style, mostly in terms of the open bed practicality and things like that. On the other hand, such a vehicle would be easier to drive, more comfortable, and most importantly, more affordable than a typical pickup. So Ford came up with the idea to take the best from both worlds, pickups and crossovers. The Ford Maverick wasn't built from scratch. Although the general idea was pretty interesting and promising, engineers had one problem: a tight deadline. Ford needed to finish this project quickly because rival companies were on the same path. Therefore, the choice was on a familiar C2 platform, the one that's been underpinning crossovers like the Ford Escape for a while, and also the one that was selected to serve as the basis for the more rugged Bronco Sport. As a result, the development took no more than a few years and the Maverick was production ready in 2021. It came with a classic pickup truck body style, but under the sheet metal, things were quite untypical. The Maverick used a Unibody platform, which brought numerous benefits regarding ride quality, maneuverability, comfort, etc. All that came in a combination with the practicality of a pickup with a decently sized cargo bed, decent ground clearance, and even some off-road attributes. The best part of the story is that even the company's management didn't have high expectations from the Maverick, but looked at it as rather a kind of experiment. Of course, the officials will never admit that, but there's a bunch of clear indicators that the ambitions weren't too high. The most obvious one is the current production lag, where Ford stopped further orders because they can't make enough Mavericks. Simply, the production plans were based on a much lower expectation compared to the current demand, which is extremely high. But the Maverick isn't the first unibody pickup? Something like, wait, but the Maverick isn't the first unibody pickup is probably going through your mind right now, and you're right. There were many unibody pickups before, but most of them vanished from the market by the 90s. The only unibody pickup left was the Honda Ridgeline, which is still in production, and although it managed to mark decent sales numbers, the Ridgeline was never a game changer. It was just a more comfortable, more refined alternative to classic body-on-frame pickup trucks with below-average towing capacity and underwhelming off-road performance, but with also a higher starting price. In the case of the Maverick, things are a little bit different. Although it's not a particular performer either, it's smaller, easier to drive, more efficient and simpler. Most importantly, it is significantly cheaper. With a starting price currently going slightly over $22,000, it is by far the most affordable pickup you can buy on the market today. And for that price, you can also get a very efficient hybrid powertrain, something you would never expect from a pickup at this price range. An average Maverick buyer. This section probably leads us to the conclusion that the Maverick is changing the pickup market radically because it attracts new non-traditional pickup customers. While a typical pickup truck driver is primarily looking for qualities like great towing and hauling capacities, or maybe great off-road performance, the profile of a typical Maverick buyer is a little bit different. This pickup attracts non-traditional truck buyers who find this body style attractive but cannot afford it or simply don't want to pay a typical pickup price. Those drivers like the versatility of an open cargo area, but don't necessarily need to tow a trailer every now and then. Those drivers want a piece of roughness, but don't want to sacrifice ride quality. Those drivers are mostly younger generations, active people who need a pickup for recreation, occasional outback tours, and similar things, but mostly to use it for commuting. Those drivers care about fuel efficiency and emissions, so they highly appreciate the Maverick's hybrid powertrain. These are just some of the reasons for the Maverick's success. It struggled from nowhere, but it turned out to be a fantastic solution for so many drivers who have been struggling to find a versatile and good-looking vehicle at a reasonable price. What about other car makers? The popularity is an obvious indicator that the Maverick is changing the truck market, but not the only one. Other car makers became aware of the potential of this marker niche as well, and now they all want to make a small pickup truck. Soon after the Maverick came out, Hyundai came with its version of a small unibody pickup. That model is called the Santa Cruz, and it features a little bit more refined and more upscale design approach, as well as a little bit higher starting price. Currently, it doesn't come with a hybrid powertrain, but that could change in the future. Currently, the demand isn't on the Maverick level, but the Korean car maker still manages to make decent sales numbers. Other car makers hesitated a little bit to make such a move, but the latest report suggests that, soon enough, this segment will become quite crowded. For example, a test mule of what's believed to be the new Ram 1200 has been spotted, and rumors suggest radical changes compared to the previous generation. The outgoing model is no more than a rebadged Mitsubishi Triton for selected markets. The new one will, reportedly, feature a different design approach with a unibody platform based on crossovers like the Compass and Commander. Most importantly, it should be offered on the US market. Nothing less is expected from the world's largest automotive maker, Toyota. Allegedly, the Japanese manufacturer is also working on a small pickup, and it is using the same recipe as Ford. This means that Toyota's small pickup would ride on the modern Toyota new global architecture and share most of the parts with a RAV4. With such a basis, Toyota could easily become the Maverick's worst nightmare, due to a great selection of refined and efficient hybrid powertrains that could find their place under the hood of this pickup, including the plug-in hybrid setup from the RAV4 Prime, with over 300 horsepower. Could the Maverick be the new F-150? The Maverick is definitely changing the pickup truck market. It is attracting new customers to the pickup truck segment and gives Ford a big opportunity to establish a household name in this newly formed class, just like the F-Series did long ago, and now holds the title of the best-selling vehicle in North America for nearly 5 decades. However, its smart design probably won't be enough to ensure the leading position for Ford. The Blue Oval Company does have a chance to become an absolute leader of the segment, but to ensure that, some issues need to be solved. As you probably know, Ford is currently facing big quality problems, and if this trend continues, things could only become easier for rivals to take over the leading position in the future. It's just a matter of time before the Maverick will face much tougher competition, so we presume that Jim Farley and his management are perfectly aware that they cannot afford mistakes. Farley already admitted quality problems to the public and announced big structural changes in the near future that should take quality control to a much higher level. At this moment, no bigger issues have been reported in the case of the Maverick, but on the other hand, there is a big production problem, as the company is currently nowhere near meeting the current demands. The Maverick is currently produced in Ford's Hermosillo assembly in Mexico, alongside its closest relative, the Bronco Sport, and we have no doubt that one of the company's priorities is to increase production capacities as soon as possible. And that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.